Hello and welcome. It's The Chat. I am Manny. My guest on the program comes with so many caps. One of them was when he was the president of the University of Ife Students Union.
Oyewole Olaoye is a one-time Students' Union government president at University of Ife, a media professional, public relations consultant, journalist, administrator, and CEO of Diametrics Limited. Olaoye was born in Lagos. He is a Lagosian with Dahomeyan roots. He had his early education at Holy Cross School, Lagos, and St. William's School, Ibadan. Inspired by his heroes in early life, Archbishop J.K.A. Agi and Reverend Father Dennis Slattery, no one was surprised when he indicated quite early that he would like to be a Catholic priest, and this led him to St. Teresa Minor Seminary and the SS Peter and Paul Major Seminary, both in Ibadan. He later changed his mind in 1975 on account of a conflict between his journalistic activities and his status as a seminarian. Today, he counts among his schoolmates several servant priests, bishops and archbishops who passed through the major seminary in the early 70s. During the 1978 and 79 session, Olaoye served as president of the Students' Union of the University of Ife, during which time he spearheaded the building of a student hostel with donations sought from the public and labor provided by enthusiastic students. The hostel still stands today. Olaoye holds a bachelor's degree in literature in English from the University of Ife and a master's in mass communication from the University of Lagos. He has had a rich journalistic, administrative, and public relations career. He is a fellow of the African Public Relations Association, member, editorial board of leadership newspapers, media strategist, and columnist at Daily Trust newspapers. He is also a director of Academy Press PLC, the largest commercial printing press in West Africa. He is a member of Nigeria's premier social club, the Island Club Lagos. He is the current chairman and CEO of Diametrics Limited, a frontline public relations company headquartered in Abuja. He is married to Anne Ndidiamaka Olaoye. The couple is blessed with 3 children, Dukbe, Ebun, and Shola.
Wale Olaoye, it's a pleasure having you on the program.
Thanks, Manny.
How much would anyone pay to take a cap off your head or perhaps your beards? These are the 2 things I know you never give up. It's just part of your dressing.
Yeah.
When you opened your eyes for the first time, where were you?
I grew up in Ibadan.
Okay, you're born in Lagos and you grew up in Ibadan.
Partially.
Okay.
Lagos, Ibadan, because my dad was a teacher in Holy Cross first, before he now moved to the ministry in the Western region. And there he became editor of Aworeri. If you were in the Western region, you will know the popular magazine, Aworeri.
I was wondering where you picked up writing from. So it was from your dad.
Yeah.
And you were editor of the famous Drum magazine in those days.
Drum magazine had 4 publications. There was Drum, there was Trust, there was Sadness and Joy, there was Truck and Car, then there was Fearless Fan, boom. I was editor of Trust.
Okay.
And I was a columnist in Drum. But I became a columnist in Trust before becoming editor of Trust. I was a columnist in Drum because you could cross-publish your columns across the various... it's just that the focus would be different. The focus of my column in Drum, for example, it was called Echoes from Kokoro Street. The focus was different from Bachelor Boy that I was writing for Trust.
As president of the Students' Union of Obafemi University now, then it was University of Ife.
Yeah.
What were you like?
We had 11 demonstrations, for example,
Wow.
between Ife and Lagos, but we never recorded one loss of life. We did so many things, and so many things worked for us. We were lucky. But the high point for me as a person was we had told the authorities that we felt it was high time students took responsibility, for solving some of their own problems. So we started going out, right from rag day after rag day, we start going out and asking people, please donate, even if it's a bag of cement. Even they say, what do you want to do? We say, we want to build a hostel. To the glory of God, that hostel is still there today.
Well, but that's good enough to know that, in your time, right, that was under the military.
Yeah.
There were a lot of demonstrations by students.
Yeah, but then it dovetailed into Shagari's own tenure.
Yeah.
And they were still learning the ropes on this democratic journey. And we just couldn't stomach some of the terrible things terrible. With hindsight now, if many of my colleagues have been telling me that if they were to run into Alhaji Shagari today, they will apologize to him. Because the things we were complaining about, worse things have happened. Worse demons have been unleashed. Today.
Yes.
And you look back and you say, Shagari was a saint.
But is there no longer a students' union in this country, University Students' Union? Why have they suddenly gone, on the ground?
It's the tragedy of the society. The society has so much infected them. I'll give you an example. While we were trying to build the students' hostel that I just told you about, there was a friend of mine, an elderly friend of mine, but he was very fond of me. It was a guy called Victor Massey. He was Minister of Works. So he called me up one day. He said, all this your high horse, you better come down. Let me help you people. I have some money for you so that you complete this hostel. So I told him, I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to take money from you. I had to go to the parliament. And I told them in parliament, this guy wants to donate 10,000 naira.
That's a huge amount of money then.
At that time. So they had to vote in parliament. And they voted for, in fact, they went to the extent of writing how the check should be written. So there's no mistake that is for this project, So that was the level of discipline, the level of scrutiny.
When did you get the first job of a writer as a journalist?
Well, I told you I started life as a seminarian.
Yes.
So
you were in the seminary,
yes. And after that, I decided to go to the major seminary to be a reverend father.
Was there a good reason?
Believe it or not.
Was there a reason for that?
A reason?
To the
that
seminary.
Was the ultimate thing I wanted to be in life.
Why? What was it about being, a reverend father for you?
What it is about helping people. The reverend father was a nurse, he was a doctor, he was a teacher, he was a mentor, he was everything.
So, but what made you leave seminary then?
It's the same thing that made you go there. You just find out one day, you just say, wait a minute, is this what I really want to do?
In the seminary, you're not allowed to go close to women. Could that be one of the reasons you chose to?
No, those are ephemeral. Those are not the real. You're talking of a spiritual life, a life of helping people, a life of selflessness. That is the list of your problems in the seminary. It never even came up for consideration.
The same period where you had the Lance Spearman.
That was in Drum.
In Drum magazine.
Yes. Lance Spearman was in African Film. That's the magazine we called African Film.
Yes.
Drum was started by a South African, a white South African, Jim Bailey was his name. And it was a great idea. It was a wonderful idea. Harnessed our culture and used it to promote. Lance Spearman was photoplay, like Nollywood now, but that was the ultimate then, and we carried that experience, of course. In later years, you will find companies like West African Book Publishers publishing Atoka. Atoka became the precursor of Nollywood.
I mean, looking back today, obviously the space has changed.
Yeah.
There's a new media, the social media now. What do you think of the social media?
Social media is a double-edged sword. It could be for the good, and it could be for the destruction of society. And we've got to be very, very careful with it. I see the use, some people put it, vending hate and vending all sorts of stereotypes. That is dangerous. We've got to watch it. But you see all these tools, all these new tools of technology, we should harness them for the good rather than using it to abuse and insult and incite and cause confusion, to produce.
But do you think there's enough consequence, for the writings of the social media these days in Nigeria for some of the disruptions?
The reason we don't monitor, there are no consequences. You can commit blue murder on social media and you get away with it. The moment we start enforcing, people will behave themselves. You can use social media for anything, for activism, but please don't use it for hate. Hate is a very dangerous thing. It's led to genocide, it led to terrible things all over the world, so we should learn.
Outside Nigeria, who have you met, as a personality and willing to talk about now?
Outside, the person I want to talk about now is both outside and inside. Akin Adesina of African Development Bank. And I will want to make him a role model for our youths, for them to look at the infinite possibilities of following your dream.
Why is it? Why did you choose him? Why him? Is it about his looks?
Fantastic. Everything about him. This guy, a lot of people don't know, this guy was in Ife. He made the first class. And from there, he's been all over the world, multinational agencies and all. He's proved himself. Then he went to Purdue University for his PhD and all. But in African Development Bank, he has come to his own.
Is he the only role model you can talk about in Nigeria? There are quite a number. I understand, Nigerians are great.
You want to show them that this person is like them. He grew up. He didn't start from a foreign university. You want to show them, when you want to show the Nigerian youth example, show them somebody that is like them, that grew up on the streets like them, that went to a university in Nigeria before becoming that superstar. So if that person can make it, they too can make it by following the right examples. You get my point? Yeah. But instead, our youths are following people displaying cars, following 419, values have totally collapsed. And that is why people like Adesina, we should hold them up as beacon.
So what should you do to people like Hush Puppy?
That is it is those negative ones that have dominated social media, the Hush Puppies and stuff. And what would any youth with his head in the right place think of imitating in somebody who stands on top of a car? He's showing his bathroom, he's in his bathrobe, he doesn't have a factory, yet he's showing things worth millions of dollars. Where is he coming from? What's his claim to wealth? We don't interrogate wealth. All we want is, he's a big man, he has money. And that's what I'm saying, that our youths are being gifted the wrong values.
The youths also feel disappointed that, what the politicians promise them all the time, none of them is, realized. Because,
a nation gets the kind of leadership it deserves. There's so much of bad example out there for the youths that we need nothing short of a moral rearmament, a total overhaul.
What's your opinion of modern journalists,
You see, every journalism generation copes with the challenges of its own times. The challenges of today are different, but they are no less daunting. In our days, there was nothing, you couldn't even imagine a media house not paying salaries. So these days, when I heard some people have not been paid in 5-6 months, I wonder, how are they surviving? It means the system is encouraging journalists to go and take bribes in order to write stories. So you can't start blaming them. You've got to cure the root of the problem.
But is it not a general thing? Is it only journalists?
It is wrong. It is wrong. Any governor that cannot pay salaries should resign, should be disgraced out of office. Any local government that cannot pay salaries should be disgraced out of office. They always have money for cars, for all those things that make them happy, for chartering jets to fly all over the place. Then they don't have money for salaries. This is a criminal activity to be in an executive position and not pay salaries.
Pick a question. Let's pick one question out of the
How
lot.
does it work?
You just pick a question, then look at it if I were you. But
Okay.
just pick it. And
What is something you used to do without thinking, and now it embarrasses you? What is that thing you used to do?
without thinking,
Yes, and now it embarrasses you.
what was it?
Maybe believing people.
Really?
Yeah.
You used to believe people a lot.
I used to be quite naive. So you could sell any fib to me, especially if you are teary-eyed, and I would buy it. Now I would comb you with the finest tooth comb if you tell me any story. So when I think about some of the people that have gotten away with it, including former subordinates in journalism, and in later years, they will not tell me, sir, do you know that time? I just feel like an idiot. I said, what was I thinking? How could I have fallen for that? But I think back now, I say, shege if I had, But now, so you find that the world is more complex than you think. But you have to balance it also with those who have genuine cases.
What disappoints you most about Nigeria?
What disappoints me most about Nigeria is the leadership, failure of leadership. And I say this advisedly. Most of our problems stem from bad leadership. And it is bad leadership that gives room to the wrong set of people being put in charge of various aspects of our national life. And bad leadership, when I talk of leadership is not about cruelty or benevolence or sharing money or stuff like that. I had cause to tell one political leader sometime. He was asking me about leadership, and I told him leadership, sir, is not about benevolence only. Oh, he's a nice man. Anytime he comes, he gives us money. I said, that's not leadership. I said, leadership could also be utmost ruthlessness with those who are dislocating the society. So both have to go hand in hand. Benevolence this way, ruthlessness that way.
If you were in a position of power or influence, how do you intend to tackle things like this? Because it doesn't look like it's ending, does it?
It doesn't look like. It looks like it's going to get worse. And how to tackle it is to get the right leadership.
I always hear, get the right leadership. What formula are you going to use to get the right leadership?
It's advocacy. Thank God we're talking about it now. If we don't start talking about it now, it will never happen.
But we've been talking about this for years.
Yes.
Right leadership, right?
Yes, you see, each person acts within his own milieu, where your own area of influence. If all of us decide to do something from our own various areas of influence, it will change. But you see, we sit back and wait, and the dregs of society capture power, and they ride roughshod on the rest of us.
In your days, it was the students that would come out in the streets in demonstration.
Yes.
So why haven't they been, consistently doing that?
Why they can't do that today is that we have corrupted them. The society has corrupted them. The values that we subscribe to are not the same values that these children subscribe to today. In our own days, it was a big deal for you, president, to finish your tenure, no stain, no stealing, you'll be hailed, you'll be a hero forever. If you had been a thief in those days, you'll follow you for the rest of your life, in my generation. So I still meet members of parliament, I still meet people who are in the university with me, and I am glad I conducted myself the way I conducted myself. Because if I had done otherwise, today it would have been following me all over the place. But it's no longer like that. That's what I'm saying. Now the values are hush puppy and all this. Those are the values. And the children of today are being buffeted from all sides by social media. All sorts of bad examples are out there for them. And those that are supposed to mentor them are away chasing money.
You have a wife.
Yes.
Where did you meet her?
Well, I met her in Lagos.
In your working days?
Yes, I was.
Or when you were socializing?
No, I was in Academy Press actually.
Really?
Yes, at that time, I was in West African Book Publishers in Academy Press, and so I met her while I was there, and we just clicked and decided that.
What's the interesting thing
Let's do
about
it.
her, before I say it?
The most interesting thing about her? The interesting thing about her is that she also had her own dreams.
She's of the southeast stock, right?
Yes, she's from
While you're
Onitsha.
of the southwest stock.
She's from Onitsha.
Yes.
Onitsha has some of the most beautiful women.
That's what you had in mind before you. You have children, you know, which one of them is,
We have 3 kids.
which one of them is following in your steps?
Difficult to say because.
Well, I mean, you've
my-
got difficult steps you're taking.
Yeah. My first daughter does write well, but she's not writing now. My son is a computer person. He's a computer expert in his own right. My second daughter is the one that comes close in terms of profession because she read media and film studies. So she's doing her postgraduate now in media and film studies. She's the one that comes close to journalism.
Which one of them is closest to you?
All.
No. There must be one that is really close to you.
It's the same. If any of them calls now, children are different.
Have you ever got annoyed with your wife?
Yes.
And what steps did you take?
Nothing. It just wore out. At times you find that she's right.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're not on talking terms for 1 week with your wife?
Anything is possible in a relationship, even with a wife, even with a twin brother, even with a blood brother. There is nothing that separates a wife from your mother, from all the others. You could be so miffed at a stage with a very close friend, and a wife is more than a close friend.
Take us through the best moment that you have had together with your wife.
Too many best moments.
Just one.
Well, one time that I really enjoyed was our pilgrimage to Jerusalem, by sea. We started in Rome.
I see.
Yeah, you start from Rome, and then you go through Malta, Greece, Ephesus, Turkey, and not just like that. Then you get to Ashdod port in Israel. Then
Well, I know Ashdod.
they bus you to Jerusalem, and from there you go to Jordan, Bethlehem, all those places where did Christ turn water to wine. Yeah, we went there too. There's a big sign there. I had a wine there. So I took a glass of wine there. I said, let this place where Jesus turned water to wine, let me even sharp one wine here. So it was really, really nice. So that's one of the trips we had together that I truly, truly enjoyed.
Let's take you on another getaway. So if you were cast away to not an island, this time a mountaintop, for a couple of days, what would you take along with you?
I would take a commando knife. I would take a magnifying glass so I can make fire. Yes, I would take my phone with internet. Yes. I would take some blanket covering for the cold against the weather. Yes, and I would take water. 5. Yes. Yes.
You're happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I can survive with that.
Right. Thanks a lot, Wale Olaoye, for being
Thank
on
you,
the
Manny.
program. I've enjoyed it. We've tried, traveled around everywhere trying to get things out. But yeah, it's been fun. My guest has been Wale Olaoye, the genius in writing, in my opinion. Yes. And he's been our guest. My name is Manny. It's been The Chat. See you next time. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.